Today we're going to bring the ASUS AX3000. It's a dual band system and the model is RT-AX3000. So it's Wi-Fi 6 ready. So that means it's ready for the next generation. It could, you could set it up where it could divide the networks or it automatically switches on the network. So if you have a 2.5 hertz or you have a 5 hertz item or hardware, it could distinguish which item it is. Now this one could have 25 to 50 items on your network. So unfortunately it's not a heavy duty usage. So we're gonna take a look at it and see what you can get. Now on top of that, it's 160 hertz on this. So just to give you a heads up on transfer rate, it's pretty good. So wall to wall, you're gonna have some problems here and there. Depends if you have a lot of metal, copper, or any kind of material like aluminum. You're gonna have issues on the transfer rates too. So just keep that in mind too. So we're gonna open it up and see what you get and see what we can do with this. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. All right, first of all, of course, they give you all the paperwork. The instructions are very important. Now, a lot of the instructions are a little different from the web and completely for the book. So just to let you know that in regarding logging into the admin, it's going to ask you automatically up front how do you want to set up the network and how to set up the password. If you're not familiar with this step, I would recommend you resetting the router again and start all over again. Now, when you're setting up your dual band, just remember that when I talked about dual bands, the 2 hertz, it's compared to the 5 points, they're different technology, right? A lot of the older machines that come with the 2.5 require that bandwidth only, and they cannot go over the 5 hertz. So, but if you set it up to dual automatically, it distinguishes on the hardware and it automatically connect you. Now on top of that, they got great customer service, so recommend you guys calling them. Even if they don't even support your broadband, they still help you out and they do a lot of couple tests. And on top of that, there's a firmware upgrade when you purchase it, so remember to test that out first. Depends on the model that's is out during your time. Sometimes there isn't, but I would just go there first prior to even setting everything up. After you set up your password, username, password, that's the first thing you need to do. Make sure you do a firmware upgrade, right? So let's go ahead and start. And they start you up with very simple instructions, barcode. You also have this system that you could actually monitor from your phone, so just be aware of that stuff. And you know, it's very simple. They give you everything that lights up is supposed to be a certain brand that's supposed to be. So they have a 5 hertz, 2 hertz, and power, and then all the landlines, and then the WAM, of course, the most important thing. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about that. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what you get. So first of all, you get this big old hardware, and in this one right here, it has 4 antennas. All right, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here is it. On back of the unit, we're going to turn it around so you guys can see it back of the unit. You got your WAM connection here. This is where your internet's going to go. So if you have a broadband, you have cable or fiber, you're going to connect your main line here, and the rest of them you're going to share this. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 connections you have to share. You could share a PlayStation 5, a computer, or another router if you want to, or an extender too. You can also do that too. Now on top of that, the power supply and the USB connection. This is very useful for me. I'll explain to you in a way. And then you have your, of course, your power supply. Now there's an option. If you want to use this mostly like a share server, you can do that by putting an external drive in here, and you could distinguish, you could actually find it on your network, and you could set it up to transfer files over. Now, just to let you know that it's powered 24/7, and some of these drives are not meant to be powered 24/7. So just be aware, unless you have a solid state drive that's not overheating too much, they may have recommendation you could do that too. You could transfer files in here, have pictures, music, all sorts of things. But just be aware that if it stays too long on, you might damage the system itself. Not this system, but the actual drive that you're going to set up. So I had that in the past where I set up a drive and it just burned out after a couple months. But it was a mechanical drive. Now an SSD drive, which is a solid state drive, might last you a little longer, but some of them tend to overheat if there's a lot of transfer rate on it. So just be aware of that. So nothing fancy in the front. We're going to take it out. Nothing fancy other than the lights they give you, that everything needs to be on, like from power to the WAM to the internet to all the 4 ports that you have in the back. All right. So we're going to go ahead and set this up, and I'm going to show you a little demo of what you need to do. All right, we're going to set up the router. make sure you do put this on your browser, but you have to be in the same environment. That means your connection has to be you have to either connect directly to it or to the wireless. And the wireless is not set up right now at the moment, but I suggest getting a a category 5 cable and connecting it directly to it so you can set it up. Now on your browser, you're gonna have to type in http://router.asus.com. All right, I'll put it down in the description so you can know. So let's go ahead and plug it in. All right, this is where we have the actual welcome page. All right, once you set up the router information that I told you guys earlier, you just hit create new network. So right here is actually giving you information on how to plug in if you have USB, and then where to actually plug in your router. If you get a router from your provider, or if you get a router from your fiber provider, you need to connect in that blue area. So just be assured. So we're going to go ahead and hit manual setup. Right on this one is particularly asking you, does your internet connect require username and password? Yeah, mostly all of them. If you could daisy chain these systems, but in this case, we do want one, so we want to make sure we provide it. Now, if you have a network that has a static IP, this is where you actually choose your static IP, or just hit automatic IP. It will pick up whatever your provider will actually provide for you, right? So it's something that you're not going to see in the background. It kind of creates your own environment in this place. So we're going to go ahead and hit automatically IP. And let's go ahead and hit that automatically. Once you come in here, we're going to create our network. And this is where you actually create your network name. So when you see your environment, either through USB or through wireless, and you set up a network ID. So network name, we're going to type in admin for now. And this is the wireless password you're going to set up here, right? So we're going to go ahead and set up the wireless password. And we're just going to put test 2021 exclamation mark, right? And doing this, we're going to do this for both of them, right? For the 2.5 and the 5 hertz, right? So we have two different networks in here. One separated by an older generation of 2.4 and the other one's a 5. So you can have two individual passwords, or you could have one password, and it's up to you. So we are going to create, like I said, the name's going to be admin and the password's going to be test 2021 exclamation mark, so we can combine the networks as we get. Like in this situation, we are going to combine the networks. So let's go ahead and do that here. Now we're going to create our router name here, and for now we're going to keep it a generic name because we're testing it out. So we're going to put in ASUS, and then we're going to use the same password like we use everything. We're going to put a test 2021 exclamation mark. And this is pretty much what it is. We have to retype it again. You could continue to the next page. On the next page, once it's going to create your network, and automatically everything connects in here. So we're going to go by the list. All right, right now it's asking us how many computers are connected in this network. If you have a USB, it will show up in here. Pretty much all the individual information that you just created, the system will automatically generate it for you. So we're going to go down the list. So let's go to guest network. This is very unique and very awesome little feature because I actually enabled a couple of them. So anytime you have a party or you have a neighbor that doesn't have an internet, you can always create an account for them. Now the next one is pretty easy. This is an awesome little thing that Parental controls are built in. Network protections, firewalls, everything comes in here. You don't have to pay for anything additional cost. You could create timelines for when your kids are going to be online. This is something that I personally use where I want them to be asleep at a certain time, so I disconnect all the devices that are connected within our network. This includes iPads, iPhones, and Netflix, anything you have. Now network protection is in case you want to have the extra layer of protection. Now you could actually type in words to filter out so they won't be able to surf the internet. Now the next one, this one is it tells you the speeds pretty much of the bandwidth that we currently have right now, and any device will show up in here, and list by list it will label it and will tell you what's being transferred. Either it's uploading and downloading, you're going to be able to see all this information. Now you can have reports done on a daily basis, weekly, hourly, however you want to schedule this stuff. This will give you a report of where they've been, what has been downloading in your network, and this is how you find out if other people are actually snooping in your network too. So it gives you a kind of a good control, good features. Now the next one, this is a good one that you could set up your USB connection. On the USB connection, this is where we're talking about you could connect your printer, and you could share your printer amongst your whole family too. Not only that, you could put in an external drive and you could share files, and it could act like a server there too. AirCloud. This is where you can actually save some of your files from your network into a cloud system. But this is additional cost. Now you can also save your profiles too. Now, if we go down, we can see more information. This is just the basic stuff in wireless, what kind of environments we have, and also the dual bandwidth that we currently have. Things too. There's a lot of features in here. All this, you don't have to really address it if you just want the basic stuff, but I recommend you come in here and learn your environment. Now, the LAN, this is a very important one. This is your actual provider provides the existing IP that pushes out through your network, and this is the router that they provided for you that you connect your bandwidth into here. This is where all the information, and your DHCP server. Now if you do buy a static IP from a provider, this is pretty much where you have to come in and set up all that information. They have WAM, they have analytics, VPN, firewalls, and administration. It's pretty much basic, but out of the box it's ready to go. So if you have any questions or any comments, let me know. I'm your host, Frank the Tank, and we are out.